Wuthering Waves has been breaking records universally, and it's also been shown by many different data reports that it's actually been competing for the top 5 spot of most successful monetarily gacha games in the space right now, which is very much against the common grain of what people pre-existingly believed. So it's becoming mainstream. 2.4 blew shit out of the water. Content creators alike, we're getting a lot of new faces, including Asmongold and Nicholas Light. So let's see what's going on in the gacha space, and let's see how truly large scale this change is.
To address those allegations?
Yes, Asmongold is bald. I will let you know. That's a wig. It is. You know what's crazy? How come everybody called me a tourist, but nobody called Asmon a tourist? That's what's crazy. That's what's insane. Everybody villainizes me for being a fucking tourist. Nobody ever says shit towards this guy, man. It's bullshit.
They're absolutely true. I have been playing it off stream. This is accurate. I have been caught, and I'm not even caught. I even said that I was doing it, but you know, there it is. Don't you talk about playing it like every stream? Not all the time, but like every once in a while. Well, I could have expected that. Yeah, it's like, it's the best support character in the game. How do I live knowing I am playing the same game as that thing that he has shorekeeper while I don't? How?
Well, why don't you get a fucking job and pull a shorekeeper for yourself, man? It ain't Kuro's fault that you're a broke boy, baby. If you're a broke boy, just say so.
How do I live? If I told you the answer to that, I would get suspended.
There is a strange kind of poetry
low-tier God has some advice.
to how things go viral now. Sometimes it is a meticulously crafted ad campaign with millions in the budget behind it. Sometimes it is a random meme that breaks.
Oh, speaking of which, doing a podcast with low-tier God very soon. This will be on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter.
Containment on Twitter, and sometimes it is just a bald guy watching a trailer on YouTube.
Wuthering Waves, full trailer and gameplay review. When did this come out? May 27th, and I haven't seen this. How's that? I can't believe I wore that beanie every day for like 3 years, guys. 3 years I wore that fucking beanie, bro. Jesus Christ. You know I still have that fucking thing? Holy shit. Possible.
We live in a timeline where a gacha game's rise into mainstream relevance didn't start with investors or executives. It started with a streamer reacting to a trailer, and the kicker? That worked better than...
What is this B-roll, man? Leave me out of it. What is this? Jesus. Give me a fucking break. Where are you finding these?
anything money could have bought. It is almost funny. Studios spend years fine-tuning their marketing pipelines, building brand awareness through multi-channel campaigns, and here comes Tectone, just doing what he always
God, I'm so fucking jacked and handsome. Holy shit. Jesus Christ, bro.
does, and accidentally jumpstarts Wuthering Waves' entire Western breakout.
Oh my God, wait, is this video a glaze fest for me? Holy shit, I clicked on the right video. Hail Tectone, God motherfucking damn. I love this shit.
Completely unsponsored, completely off the cuff. That one spark turned into a cascade. People clicked, people shared, and from there, the game started walking on its own legs. And
hey, Glaive, you want to see something else I put on the map? This would be a great little clip for you. My Silver Palace video got 250,000 views in 2 weeks. 250,000. When I reacted to that trailer, when they sponsored me to react to it live, I was the first, by the way, first streamer to ever react to it. That's a fact, because they were the ones who allowed me to break the NDA and announce the game's title to the world first. I took them from 1 follower to 30,000 followers in underneath 3 hours. It was psychotic. It was nuts. And then I told every other streamer they needed to react to this shit, and they all followed suit. And here we are today, boys. That game is going to break records, but it needs to deliver and come out soon. I know what the next big gacha games are. And those will be Ananta, Silver Palace, and Azure Pamelia. Yep, those three. Those three are going to fucking own, or sorry, Azure Stellar, I think it's called now. NTE isn't going to do shit. It's really not. Ethereal Restart won't really be that big, but it will have a very hardcore niche fan base, just like Summoners War. But yeah, those will be the future of gacha games. Yeah. And Chrono Odyssey or Chrono Abyss, whichever one it's called, that MMO is also going to fucking slaughter. Can't wait.
It didn't just stop.
Oh, Arknight's Enfield is also going to be great, but it won't be on the same scale as the other big three for the future Gacha games. It will also have a hardcore niche fan base, 100%, because it's just far too niche. But it's going to deliver to that fan base very hard. I look forward to playing Enfield very much so.
It evolved because this wasn't just a one and done hype cycle. Wuthering Waves kept showing up. It kept improving. The 2.0 update landed and suddenly the game wasn't just interesting, it was polished. The traversal felt amazing. The world made sense. And for once, a Gacha developer actually responded to feedback with real changes. And then you have the influencer wave. And not just the usual Gacha crowd. We got Nicholas Light.
Come on, dance like there's nothing left. Entertain me!
Play a fucking Star Wars music with this evil laugh. I'm salivating. Oh my god!
Mudahar Asmongold.
I'm telling you, man. The shit that me and Nicholas are going to do in the Gacha space is going to change the fucking game, bro. I promise you. It's going to be so good.
People who normally wouldn't touch this genre were downloading it unprompted. No sponsorships, no strings, just curiosity. And that doesn't happen unless something is genuinely cutting through the noise. And eventually, the industry took the hint. Steam reviews went up, Jeff Keighley gave it a showcase, it got nominated at the Game Awards. Slowly but surely, the conversation stopped being, is this the next Genshin killer? And started sounding like this is the Genshin killer. Which brings us to now. Summer Game Fest.
Or what I like to say even more, wow, this game's really fucking good. Yep. Eventually, the Genshin Impact fan base won't realize how good the Genshin killer phrase is for them because it keeps them relevant. It keeps them in the conversation. But more and more games are moving away from the just make Genshin Impact Plus, and they're going to stand on their own 2 feet. And I can't wait for that day. It's going to take about another year or 6 months, though, guys.
Fest 2025. Kuro Games is officially listed alongside PlayStation, Xbox, and Capcom.
This could be huge. They could be announcing another project, but I have a feeling they're just wanting to advertise 2.4. And honestly, I think that's just a great idea. I will be live all day on June 6th to make sure that I'm live when this happens. And I cannot fucking wait.
That is not just a spotlight, that is
hopefully they announce 2.4 and the Cyberpunk collab. That would be great to get eyes on.
recognition. It is a signal that this isn't just a fluke, it is a developer with staying power. So how did we get here? And more importantly, what happens next? Let's dive into it. For a game that is supposed to be made by a studio with zero marketing sense, Wuthering Waves has done surprisingly well at getting noticed, but not because of Kuro Games' efforts.
Dude, their AdSense at the beginning, it's like, oh my god, they were so fucking dumb at the beginning. But they're getting better every single day.
At least not at first. The turning point wasn't a paid ad campaign or some massive cross-media push. It was a YouTube reaction. A single unsponsored reaction video from Tectone. And that moment, Tectone watching the trailer might have been the first real pulse the game had outside of niche.
I had 23,000 subs while watching this. 23,000 subs. Dude, I need to do another subathon. Jesus Christ.
Circles. And the timing couldn't have been better. The trailer looked good and it left an impression. There was enough in that trailer to raise eyebrows. And once someone like Tectone gives it a nod of approval, it doesn't just stay in the gacha lane anymore, it gets out. The word gets spread around. This is the kind of butterfly effect that is almost impossible to engineer. One trailer, one creator, and suddenly the game that nobody was talking about is now sitting in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes. And from
Glaive, stop, you're gonna make me come. Okay, you're going too hard, man. You're going too hard. All right, take it easy, take it easy, take it easy.
There, the momentum just kept building.
But let's be real. Is there anything he just said that wasn't true? Like, let's be real here, guys. Let's be real. Like, where's the lie, guys? Where's the lie? I didn't see it.
But that was just the spark. Let's talk about the chain reaction that came after. If the trailer was the spark, the 2.0 update was the part where the fire actually caught. Before Rena Sita dropped, Wuthering Waves was already doing a lot of things right, especially in terms of world design and movement, but there was always this feeling of almost. Like the bones were there, but the rest needed time to catch up. 2.0 is when it all started to come together. The flight system in particular was a standout, just effortlessly clean. You could feel how much care went into smoothing out traversal, making it feel more than just a mechanic. It is one of those subtle changes that quietly changes the entire pacing of the game. The character designs actually memorable now. There is a sense of cohesion and theme instead of just cool anime guy with a dull blade. It feels like they finally figured out who they want this world to belong to. And on the technical side, the performance leap is hard to ignore. Optimization that actually worked, not just as a bullet point in patch notes, but in how the game felt session to session. You log in and you can tell this plays better. But what really pushed it over the edge was that they listened, like genuinely listened to the feedback. Developers usually throw half-hearted band-aids on top of core problems and call it a day. Well, Kuro didn't. They took the criticism, dug into the systems, and reworked the experience in a way that made people who had already bounced off the game give it another shot. And this time, a lot of them stayed. And with that polished update came attention, not just from the players, but from people you wouldn't expect. There was a point where you realize this game isn't just bouncing around the gacha bubble anymore. It is not just Reddit threads or niche Twitter circles. It is hitting timelines that normally don't even register when a new gacha drops.
Yep.
Nicholas Light reacting to the characters was one of those moments. And sure, he reacts to a lot, but even then, you could tell some.
That's another huge audience coming in our way. Like, genuinely, that is a huge fucking audience coming our way. It is such a good thing when a massive creator brings their pre-existing community and showcases them a place where they can go, where they can try. Yeah, that will have a ripple effect on the YouTube analytics as well as the Twitch analytics, 100%.
Thing about the designs clicked with him. The style, the music, the way these characters are animated. It wasn't just another waifu showcase, it had weight. And he picked up on that instantly. And then you got Asmongold. I don't even know if the guy actually plays gacha games often, but he booted up Wuthering Waves off stream. No content farm, no sponsorship, just
He used to play Honkai Star Rail 2 every day, then he quit.
genuine interest.
A lot of people are kind of surprised that I
Do you know who got Asmon into gacha games? Me, by the way. You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. Yep. I made another human being. It is what it is.
play the game, but yeah, I 100%ed every zone. I beat every hologram at 6. I did all of the different completionism stuff. I played the fuck out of Wuthering Waves. I even played the beta for it.
And that kind of curiosity doesn't happen unless something in the game broke through the usual noise.
Yep.
Mutahar downloaded it on a whim. That is the guy who mostly covers tech, trending topics, and internet
I will also be playing Wuthering Waves with Mutahar very soon. Trust me, guys. I'm going to make it happen.
mysteries. Wuthering Waves is
We'll do a podcast. Me, Asmongold, Mutahar, and Nicholas Light. We'll talk about Wuthering Waves. It'll be great.
not his usual lane, but it landed on his radar anyway, and he didn't shrug it off. These aren't people you can buy with a press release. They are not beholden to the gacha scene at all, which is exactly why their interest matters more than most, because when names like that start dipping into your game organically, it means the title is doing something right. It is compelling on its own, even to people who normally wouldn't care, and it didn't stop at creators. The industry itself started to take
Yeah, we'll call it tourist talks.
notice. That shift from creator buzz to industry validation came faster than anyone expected. Out of absolutely nowhere, you got Jeff Keighley, basically the closest thing gaming has to a red carpet host, showcasing Kartithia gameplay. And not just some 10-second blip in a montage either. It's got focus, full screen. That kind of platform isn't handed out lightly, especially to gacha games, mobile live service games, which often get quietly pushed to the side in events like these. But we also have to talk about the number.
Well, I don't know about that, man. I mean, these companies got to make their money somehow. And let's be real, gachas will pay a premium to get their game on your fucking screen, right? So if these companies need money, you can sure as fuck expect 3 Hoyoverse ads on there.
Nomination. The Game Awards 2024. Wuthering Waves sitting in a lineup that usually reads like a list of who spent the most on marketing, and it is just there, part of the conversation, not as an underdog punchline, but as an actual contender.
I mean, to be completely honest, I kind of discredit gacha games from player voice because, well, everybody knows that if these games win, you're going to get handsomely rewarded in the mail, whereas you won't get shit for anything else, right? So that's why I kind of just like don't really care if they win or not, because it's just kind of just like which fan base is the most monetarily incentivized to go vote, you know what I'm saying?
Theme release played a big part in that too. Not just because it gave the game reach, but because the reviews were actually good. Like overwhelmingly positive kind of good. And when a game gets that kind of reception on Steam, a platform notorious for players who will rip you apart for the smallest thing, you know something has shifted. And suddenly, Wuthering Waves isn't just a strong gacha game, it is standing next to AAA titles, being judged by the same standards. And somehow it is holding its ground. That leads us to the next big milestone, the one that might define Wuthering Waves' global breakout. So now we have got Kuro Games listed as an official partner for Summer Game Fest 2025. And if you're not familiar with how SGF works, think of it like E3's cooler, less corporate cousin that didn't get shut down. Jeff Keighley's brainchild, a showcase where publishers like PlayStation, Capcom, and Xbox line up their best reveals in one neatly packaged livestream buffet. And this year, Kuro's name is right there next to them. That alone is a statement. That is a studio that 2 years ago was mostly known for punishing Grey Raven, a game that barely got any recognition.
Not mostly, only known. And I'll be real, Punishing Grey Raven, I acknowledge, is a great game for its time, but absolutely nobody fucking knew about this game because, good lord, Kuro never advertised their product.
Outside of Asia. Now they're sharing billing with the biggest names in gaming. That is not just a nice win for the mobile devs, that is a turning point. It also says a lot that Keighley is still backing them. He's not exactly known for featuring Gacha. Yes, Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero got some airtime in past SGFs, but let's be honest, that was always because of Hoyo vs. global reach. Kuro getting the spotlight is different. They don't have that same legacy clout. They earned this from scratch. And yeah, this might be the year gacha games stop being treated like a guilty pleasure in the West. If Wuthering Waves can hold the stage at Summer Game Fest and actually impress, it might just prove the genre deserves a seat at the big boy table. But
well, the other big thing that's been going on is EU has been absolutely killing it for being pro-consumer and anti-corporation, and has actually made these games a lot less predatory by requiring these gacha games to be more transparent with their audience about what they're actually spending on the games. So honestly, EU is also doing another great big push to make gacha games more relevant than they've ever been, because people want to talk about them because they're being fixed and they're not trying to just absorb as much as they can from you as possible.
It is not just about prestige, it is also about opportunity. Summer Game Fest isn't just a flex, it is a launch pad. And for Kuro, this is the best stage they are ever going to get to set the tone for what comes next. The safe bet, a teaser for the Wuthering Waves X Cyberpunk Edge Runners collab. That crossover has been hinted so many times, it's basically an open secret. And
2026, December 31st. Hey, man, that would suck ass. Could you imagine that shit? The very last day would be fucking pain, brother.
stylistically,
Hey, this is only 6 to 18 months away, guys.
it fits. Both are gritty, both are stylish as hell, and both kind of thrive in that beautiful chaos aesthetic. SGF would be the perfect time to drop that first trailer. There's also been a lot of talk about Punishing Grey Raven, specifically about the Devil May Cry collab. If they announce a global sync with the CN content and slap Dante on the screen, that would be a headline moment.
That would be sick. I'm not sure if the Rev Report properly showed how much sales the Devil May Cry 5 collab actually did. But man, I really wish they put this collab in Wuthering Waves instead. I would have preferred DMC5 over Cyberpunk Edge Runners, but I still am very excited for both. As long as I get to use him as an Echo and use the San Devistan as an Echo, and I get to play as Lucy, that would be insane.
Just for PGR, but for the whole catalog. And then there's always the wild card. The, oh, by the way, here's a new IP moment. It is
bro, Adam Smasher also better be an Echo, bro. That would be insane.
Rare, but Kuro has been growing fast, and they have been hiring. They have been filing trademarks. If they do have something brand new brewing, SGF would be the perfect time to plant that seed publicly. This showcase could be Kuro Games.
I will be watching, but I don't think they're gonna announce anything crazy. But if they do, I'm here. Dude, you know what they should do? Announce a turn-based game. Announce a turn-based game and put Honkai Star Rail out of its misery. If Kuro were to announce a turn-based, it would be fucking Jover, dude.
Staking their claim, not just as the Wuthering Waves devs, but as a
long-term
like player in the global market. So what does all of this actually mean for the game, for Kuro Games, and for us, the players? Wuthering Waves didn't just break the odds, it rewrote the script. In an industry where most gacha games either quietly fizzle out or cling into relevance with collabs and gacha whales, this one actually evolved. It found its identity, it got better with time, and more importantly, people noticed. Not just gacha fans, gamers, period. Kuro Games went from those punishing Grey Raven devs to a studio that can hold its own next to Capcom and Xbox. That is the kind of pivot that doesn't happen by accident. It happens when the work speaks louder than the marketing. And Wuthering Waves somehow kept speaking louder with each patch, each update, each appearance on a bigger stage. But here's the real takeaway. This wasn't a lightning in a bottle moment. This was a proof of concept that with the right gameplay, the right evolution, and the right organic momentum, even a gacha game can earn mainstream respect without selling its soul. And now
Absolutely. And I will admit, the biggest thing that a gacha game needs to do is be able to play it as much as possible, as well as little as possible. The latter being far more important. As someone who plays this game very little, very casually, it is so damn enjoyable. And the fact that the thing that I'm most excited for in 2.4 is obviously the exploration of new zones. But man, that auto battler event looks fucking awesome.
Now the pressure is on, because attention is a double-edged sword. It got them this far, but from here on out, it is all about execution. The next patch, the next collab, the next stage appearance. All eyes are on them now, and the bar is higher than ever. But if the past year was anything to go by, they just might be ready for it. But that is all from me.
Well, we'll see. But things are getting bigger and fast, and it is a very exciting time to play these games.